Hi everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So, this is my first try on level 3 in Nadera Volcano. And so, unfortunately, I don't have a full 5-star water team. If you want to watch one of my previous videos, you can see the results of doing 2 full 10 pulls on the Shani banner. And as a result of that, I'm forced to bring in 4-star Mighty and 4-star Nikke, hoping that their debuffs and water attacks are enough to take on some of the mobs and bosses here. So as you can guess, everything here is pretty much water, weak to water, and they're resistant to fire. And some of the enemies are also resistant to other elements too, but in terms of the mobs, the hounds are definitely weak to water. The mini flying dragons, they are resistant to pierce and wind, so waifu Suzette is not going to be able to do anything about that. Leclerc, again, because she is piercing, however she has a water attack in Aiming Flood, will help with that. So the strategy is to either protect with Aurora Force right off the bat, or you can use Holy Saber to debuff. You should also use any sort of physical debuff, such as Aiming Flood, which obviously doubles its damage. In this case, I had to upgrade Mighty to a 5-star. This actually is a more recent video, because the first time I tried it with 4 stars, my entire team got wiped. And after using 2,000 Chrono Stones, being a free-to-play player, I didn't have much left, and I still want to save a little bit for AS Suzette. So I did have 6 chance scripts left over after upgrading the 3 encountered characters, Garyu and Serene and Zami. And although this wasn't the best choice, I did want to upgrade Mighty from 4.5 to 5-star. And you can see the difference. Using Nightmare Gift or Waterfall really makes a huge difference in AoEing or taking down the mobs. And of course, his third move is Aqua Wall, which will help mitigate some of the fire damage. Just like in other areas of other lands, I rotate in and out, leaving most of my party in the back to recover MP and HEP in between mob battles. And that way I can conserve my food. So in this particular video, I am just exploring the very first area, and I'm going to encounter the first boss, which would normally be the T-Rex. So, you know, the Raging T-Rex is basically a souped up version of the Age of Extinction with tons and tons and tons of HP. And we'll see if we're able to take it down with this current team. One mistake I will say is that I didn't equip Annabelle's Splash Sword. I opted with Holy Saber and Deliverance Sword, both so they can debuff physical and intelligence, power and intelligence. And I opted to go with Elemental Wall with Annabelle. But I think in future runs, I'm probably going to replace Elemental Wall with Splash Sword, being that in the AF as well as against regular mobs, it would do a lot more damage. I didn't switch it only because normally in my other setups I use those 3 skills, and I just neglected to do so since I was so excited to try my 5-star Mighty. I also used a lot of the high-class scrolls in order to upgrade, since I just didn't want to waste any time in doing so. So if you are doing a lot of other lands, either hard or very hard, hopefully you're getting lots of high-class scroll drops, and they help really in upgrading your characters to level 80 for, you know, situations such as this. And keep in mind that if you have a low-level character, and you do have a lot of, you know, level 80 characters, make sure that you level them up to level 40 because of the double XP bonus from level 1 to level 40, or up to half of your highest character, to make use of that, and then use scrolls afterwards if you choose to. So again, you can see that all the mobs in this area do a lot of damage, especially these hellhounds where they can do both physical as well as magical attacks. And when I first were encountering them, I didn't realize that I should be using, elemental defense. So since then, I am using it a little bit more so my characters won't die. And bear in mind that I am keeping Nikke in the back because she's probably not much good in the front. She doesn't have much HP at level 60, of course. Her Iris attack that has the double slash water attack that also debuffs by 20% is very useful with the boss. So, unfortunately my iPad actually died on the first boss against the Raging T-Rex. My attacks did work, and here we are fighting Tiny Dragon. So this is the second boss that I'm encountering with this party. So the strategy is that the Tiny Dragon has a pretty set rotation of attacks, does some AoE fire magic, and then buffs his own intelligence, and then finally another round of fire magic. And will continue to do so in this kind of rotation. And if the battle lasts longer, then it'll start healing itself. And then if it really lasts longer, in a couple more rotations after that, it'll start doing single target 99999 damage. So, basically single target kills. So we're hoping it's not going to get to that. Strategy is pretty much the same. Use all water attacks, boost the AF to max, which you can see. Use Aurora Force or any sort of elemental defense. And I am using Elemental Wall as well as Holy Saber, as you can see. There's no point using Aiming Flood because none of its attacks currently are physical, they're all magical. So here I'm just kind of making sure I'm getting the right attacks in. And again, before using my AF, I really try to add as many debuffs onto the enemy as possible. Normally I would switch everyone out and bring everyone in to activate their Valor Chant, but with my more fragile team, I'm not really willing to bring in and out Mighty and so on and so forth. But the best case scenario would be to bring out Leclerc and Mighty, and then bring in and let Annabelle tank one hit, and then bring everyone in and then activate AF. So you can see I'm bringing in Azami because she has a multi-hit, sword attack, so that at least it extends AF. So here we go. You can see we're doing quite a bit of damage. Again, we don't have a double water debuff because we couldn't use Mighty's Valor Chant. But, with Nightmare Gift, as well as Dragon Hand, Iris, and even the Heavenly Dance landing multiple hits, we will do quite a bit of damage onto this dragon. So, for the most part, this particular battle is straightforward. And let's just see if Nikke survives the counter-attack by the dragon. So we have the Shining Moon finisher. Not bad, 2.5 million. And wow, she survived with 250 HP. That's very, very fortunate of me. So you can see Azami and her being katana users. They're really fragile in terms of physical defense. I'm sure you guys noticed that if you do have any katana users on your team. And, well, she didn't get a chance to switch out. So, the strategy now is just use my 5 stars and do multi-attacks, build up AF with the water attacks, mitigate damage, and hopefully land one more round of AF to finish it off. So, same thing, Aurora Force, Pure Cradle, and I even use Cure Leaf to top up even though the damage isn't that high on each of my characters because I'm afraid of any sort of criticals or any crazy amount of damage. Again, this is really my first run, so, who knows what to expect. So, at this point, Annabelle is just a support character because I don't have Splash Sword on her. Okay, so you can see with a lot of debuffs and magical defense, the damage is very, very, very manageable, under 1000 HP. So, and we're 3/4 of the way to an AF, and you can see again, you can see that he's starting to take extremely deep breaths. So I think it's going to start changing the way it's rotating. So even though I'm not quite there, I'm just going to make sure that I bring everyone out and just land multiple debuffs with Valor Chance and finish off the dragon before it kills my entire team. So luckily Annabelle is quite the tank, and especially with the Delos Zyphos, if you farm that from the first Barakai Otherlands, the additional magical defense, especially at higher levels, can help a lot. Mine's only level 3, but still, it's pretty good. Now you can see I've stacked all those multiple debuffs, and this second AF will be more than enough to kill it. So for anyone who doesn't have a full 5-star water team, I do feel that Azami is very useful, at least for landing some damage. And really, the 25% intelligence debuff Valor Chant is useful at times as well. Alright, all done there. Survived, and like I said, I still have food. And 2 more bosses to go, so wish me luck. And again, thanks for watching. See you next time. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks.